Hey guys, welcome to Kingdom Stories, a series which dwells into telling real life stories of how God plays a part in our everyday lives. Let's get into it. It all started when Emmanuel left his home, wanting to take a stroll through the city. He has a usual pathway he takes when he walks on his days off from work. Even though he lived here his whole life, he always admired the aesthetic of the city. He continues walking down a particular street where he sees a beggar he's never seen before, so he was intrigued. The beggar sees him, walks towards him, cautiously says, "Do you have any change, sir?" Emmanuel, not hesitant, gives it to him. The beggar, elated, says, "Thank you, sir. God bless you." Emmanuel responds, "Do you mind if I sit with you?" The beggar says, "Sure." Emmanuel sits down, and so does the beggar. Emmanuel then turns towards him, looks at him attentively, and says, "What's your name?" Michael Thompson. "Pleasure to meet you, Michael. My name's Emmanuel." Emmanuel responds. He pauses, looks at him, then states, "So tell me, Michael, how did you end up here?" Michael begins to tell Emmanuel a heartfelt confession. "So, I was living in a flat with my fiancée, working full-time in a company that sells cars. One day, I decided to go out with a group of friends. As we was out partying that night, we smoked some marijuana. I smoked it. I felt over the moon. I didn't think nothing of it because it was a night out. I was enjoying myself. Soon afterwards, I started craving it more and more. As time goes on, I started wanting it more and more. Most of my money was going towards it. I started falling behind on bills. Fiance was getting annoyed, stating I was addicted, in which at the time I denied because I didn't think I was, but I clearly was. Until she left, I fell into a deep depression and was smoking it on a regular basis. My body couldn't function without it. By this time, I was on the streets. Until one day, a man came to me and handed me a Bible. He said he will help. The more I read, the more I wanted to be like this man called Jesus. So I stopped smoking and started drawing closer towards God. Started wanting to be more like him. Emmanuel listened attentively. He waits, then responds. "I understand, Michael. Addiction to these drugs is not an easy thing to break free. But I'm glad you've stopped. I'm trusting God to provide. There's things in this period He wants to teach you, to prepare you for what's to come." Michael, touched by Emmanuel's words, smiles warmly and puts out his hand for Emmanuel to shake. Emmanuel responds to the gesture and shakes his hand. A strange man walks towards Michael and Emmanuel. Sitting down, he states, "Emmanuel, you true child of God, the kingdom of darkness watches you closely. Your heart is truly for God, and we will stop at nothing till it's ours." He then flees. Michael looks at Emmanuel in astonishment. Emmanuel sighs and shakes his head. Emmanuel gets up, takes out his wallet, hands Michael some money. "This should get you some food for a couple of days and somewhere to stay for the night. I don't have much, but that's all I can give." Michael, filled with joy, gets up and hugs Emmanuel. He responds to the gesture, says goodbye, and continues walking along the street. As he's walking along the street, a person approaches him, stating, "I know much about you. You had so much problems in this life, but it has made you stronger. These problems were going to overcome you, but you stood strong. If you follow me to my place, I will tell you your fortune and the things that are yet to come." Emmanuel Wary looks at him intensively, then responds, "My fortune and my life is in the hands of God." The person then flees. Moral of the story: the Lord sends us as sheep in the midst of wolves. We must be as shrewd as serpents and innocent as doves.